So whenever you're ready, just making your way onto your back, and have a block close by for some core work afterwards. As you make your way onto your back, just slowly starting to check in with your body. Take a moment to pull those shoulders down and away from the ears. Definitely for tighter backs, tighter hips, leave the feet on the mat, knees bent. If it feels better to extend the legs, then go for it. Maybe take a moment just to take the head from side to side, just to check in with the neck. Check in with the breath. Oh, and happy birthday, Michelle. Bring the neck to stillness and center in on the breath. So if your knees are up, perhaps walking your feet a little wider than the knees and allowing the knees to come towards one another, if that's restful for the legs. I'm going to take my arms out into cactus just to invite a bit more of an opening across the chest. And then inhaling through the nose and filling up the belly. Breathing all the way down into the hips, into the groin, softening. As you exhale, let that air come out as the belly starts to come inward. Starting to slow the breath down, seeing if you can find a 4 or an 8 count. So inhaling to the count of 4 or to the count of 8 or somewhere in between, whatever feels right for your body today. Just noticing how the hips feel in the mat and noticing where your energy's at today. So making a choice, perhaps now or as you move along, whether you're feeling like an option 1 kind of day or an option 2 kind of day. And just being okay with that, whatever you choose. We'll stay for a couple more breaths. Allow the shoulders to become nice and heavy. Noticing where the feet are connecting with the mat. And just becoming aware of your body. Staying for one last breath here. As you continue to stay with that breath, let's just bring the knees into the chest and gently rock from side to side. One more time on each side, just massaging out the tops of the hips, letting them connect with the mat on one side and then the other. As you take it back to center with a hand on each knee, just starting to stir the knees open, away from the body and back in towards the chest. Finding that gentle rock to the pelvis. Circling in the other direction. Just bringing a little bit of lubrication into the hip joints. And then bringing into center, squeeze those knees into the chest and gently bring the forehead towards the knees. So you're squeezing into a bit of a ball here, lengthening out through the back body. And and release. Allow the feet, actually keep the knees in and allow them to drop over to the left. You can adjust this however you need. So coming into a gentle twist here. We're going to start with one arm on top of the other. So you're kind of just on one side. Pardon me. Yeah. And then we'll take that top arm. Once you feel nice and settled in here, allow the hips to settle in. Take the top arm and gently draw the fingertips above the head. So we're doing a half circle above the head and open until your arms open up into a T or wherever you find yourself. We'll take that hand gently across again. So you're closing the hands. You're on your left side again. We'll continue that motion. So we'll draw the fingertips over the head till your chest opens up towards the ceiling. And then close the arm again. So moving slowly, finding a pace that suits you. We'll do that 2 more times at your own pace. Stay for a moment in the open position once you arrive there. And then gently closing up again. Top hand meets the bottom hand. And we'll do that one last time. Coming to pause in that T position, adjusting the head as you need to. Staying for 2 breaths here. Breathing down to the belly. Remembering as we go through class, there's no right way to be in the pose. Pose is going to look different for everybody. So as you arrive in the pose, just change it for your body. Take those little adjustments, either shortening your stance or widening your stance, coming in a little bit less if you need to. Just honoring your body first and the pose second. We're going to close up this twist. So we'll bring the knees back to center, maybe one at a time, depending on how the back is feeling. Coming back to the center of your mat, bring the hips back to center and just allow them to settle into the mat for a moment here. So nothing to do here, arms are in the T, just take a nice big breath. As you start to exhale, bring the knees into the chest again, give them a squeeze. Adding in the forehead if you like. Gently releasing the upper back to the mat. And then finding your twist on the other side. So perhaps you prefer to put your feet down, shift the hips over to one side so the knees have room to fall, or just allowing the knees to drop to one side. We're going to start in a closed position, so the top arm will come all the way over to the other hand. And then whenever you're ready, drawing that circle above the head, opening up into your T or your variation of the T. Staying for a moment, and then closing up the arm. Continuing in that motion, so it's 4, we did 4 on the other side, we'll do 4 on this side. So finding your own pace, rotating that shoulder, and then closing the arm. Staying with that breath as you move. Nice long inhale, nice long exhale. Coming into the last one. Finishing up in your T or your cactus arms. Staying for 2 breaths here. you finish up that exhale, take one leg back to center and then the other. Take the feet as wide as the mat, bring the hips to center nice and slowly, and then just letting the knees fall from one side and then the other. And this can be a smaller motion or a bigger motion, whatever your body's feeling. One more on each side. Bringing it back to center. Bringing the feet back in line with the knees. Finding our figure four position. So right ankle over the left knee. And you can stay like that. Or you could make increased sensations or increase intensity if you like by bringing the legs towards the chest, clasping the hand behind the left thigh. And if neither of those is feeling quite right, some people who can't quite get this position enjoy to just cross knee over knee and bring both knees towards the chest. So you might fall somewhere in the middle depending on mobility, what's available to your hips and stretching today. Staying for one more breath wherever you choose to be. Noticing if those shoulders are creeping up to the ears and just seeing if you can slide the shoulder blades down the spine again. And we'll release that stretch whenever you're ready and find it on the other side. One side's always going to be a little bit different, so perhaps this side needs a different version of this pose. So just checking in with yourself there. Left ankle over left knee, pausing there, or perhaps just sliding knee over knee and bringing the knees into the chest. If you're able to grab the leg and that's what you prefer, see if you can press the tailbone down towards the mat. It may not actually go anywhere, but it's just that gentle push-pull motion that activates the stretch just a little bit more. One more breath here. And releasing that. Uncrossing the legs. Take the legs straight and the arms above the head. Take a nice big stretch here, pointing the toes. And then pointing and flexing the feet, just lubricating the ankles here. All right, grabbing onto that block, that should be close by. With both hands, we're going to take the feet back up, or the shins back up, parallel to the ceiling, so knees are bent. Take the block above the head with both arms. Open up the knees, activate the feet. As you exhale, the arm's going to come overhead, lock those shoulders in, and at the same time, the knees will come together. Pair that with your exhale. On the inhale, the arms come above the head and the knees come open with control. So we're not just flopping the legs open. Exhale, closing. Really connect to that exhale. Purse the lips. Inhale, open. So follow your own pace. Inhale as you open, exhale with control, purse lips as you close. Working towards 10 of these, so wherever you land or want to finish is up to you. We have about 4 more for 10. rushing the exhale. I know I always say this, but finish that exhale holding in that isometric press. As the knees come together, continue to exhale until all of the air comes out. Then go to the inhale. Finishing up that last one. Hold it at the top. We're going to drop the right ankle as the arm comes overhead again. Right heel comes down. How do you drop an ankle? Right heel comes down. Exhale, bring the knee back in. Arms come overhead. Switching sides. Keep that lower back on the mat. Core is strong. Exhale, bring it in. Going for 5 on each side here, or wherever you'd like to finish. Just try to find an even number for both sides, or a matching number. And for 2 more on each side. If you mix up the breath, just pause and reconnect with the exhale to bring it in. Inhale to release. Last one. Hold at the top, squeeze the knees together, squeeze the block in your hands. Gently bring the knees to the left, bring the block to the right. With control, exhale, squeeze it back to center. Take it to the other side. Knees come to the right, arms go to the left. Exhale, squeeze it back to center. Keep those knees together if you can. Gentle twist as the arms go one way, the knees go the other. Squeeze them back in line. 1 more on each side. Last one. Back to center. Release the block. Squeeze the knees in. Bring the head towards the knees. Squeeze it all out. Roll onto your left side. Straighten out the legs for a minute. You can support your head in your hand. I'm going to grab onto my top ankle, bend the knee, and just gently press my hip forward. So a bit of a quad stretch here. Stay for a couple breaths. It can be a bit of a balancing act. You can also bend that bottom leg so you don't wobble over to one side. Okay, release that knee. Bring the knees out in front into a bit of a 90-degree angle here. Yes, awesome. So option 1, support the head, and you will lift the whole top leg maybe 4 or 5 inches up and bring it back down. Option 2 is don't support the head. Bring that bottom arm out in front of you and the top arm out in front of you. The neck just balances. You're holding it up with your strength, and you're doing the same thing with the legs. Knee comes up, knee comes down, very slowly with control. Breathing, of course. Exhale as you lift. We'll go for 5. So probably just have 2 more. Last one. Release that knee back down. Support the head if you weren't already. Take the top leg straight. Yes. Option 1, knee comes up towards the shoulder. Extend it back down. Straight back down. Option 2, arm comes above the ear. And then elbow to knee as you squeeze it in the middle and bring it back. Just going for 5 of these with control, nice and slowly as you lower that leg. Exhaling slowly as they come together. Inhaling as you use all your muscle control to lower that leg back down. Going for 2 more. Exhaling out those pursed lips to really connect to the core and stability. Inhale as you bring it down. Last one. We're going to hold that knee, squeeze it in. And release. Roll onto the stomach when you finish. Stretch back into a child's pose or your lazy puppy option. Sit bones come towards the heels. Stretch those arms out in front of you. Take a nice big breath here. And we'll come to do that on the other side just to even things out. So on your right side this time. Head in the hand, or first is the quad stretch. So grabbing that top ankle and just gently bringing the knee slightly back and pressing the hip slightly forward. Breathing into this leg here, wherever you might be feeling that tension. And releasing that. Bring the knees out in front into a 90-degree angle. So the legs are coming straight out from the body, or the knees are coming straight out. So option 1, support the head and the hand. Option 2 is arms right out in front of you, lined up with one another. Whenever you're ready, flex the foot, just lift that top leg about 5 inches up and bring it back down. Exhale as you lift. Inhale as you lower. Going for 5 of these or wherever you need to finish. If you're feeling it too much in your hip flexor and you're not comfortable with that, you can think about lifting heel first on a slight angle and bring it back down. Sometimes that helps take it a bit more to the back side. Nice control, everyone. Got one more. Come to rest those knees, head in the hand. We're going to straighten that top leg just so that you're comfortable and balanced here. And then whenever you're ready, the knee comes up. And the leg goes straight and back down. And then once you've got that, you can always add the arm or just leave the arm out. Arm comes above the ear, elbow towards knee. Maybe they touch, maybe they don't. It doesn't really matter. Exhale. Staying with all that control as you lower the leg. Just going for 5. And I've lost count, so I'm going to do one more. One more feels right. Exhale. Who can count to 5 anyways? Bring it all back. Stretch it out. And release, come to your stomach once more. Find your baby cobra this time. Hands under the shoulder, reach those legs back. As you inhale, peel the upper body up, gaze at the top of the mat, send those shoulder blades down the spine. Exhale, find your downward facing dog. Take your time here, arriving in this position. Take a moment to get all the pieces working, and then pedal down one heel and then the other. Fingers are spread nice and wide. Bending the knees as deeply as you need to. We're going to take that right leg up to the ceiling. Gaze forward between your hands, so gaze to the top of your mat, and then we're going to send that knee all the way through and find your low lunge position. So you can help that foot through if you need to, and then drop the back knee. I'm going to use my blocks for support and stay for a couple breaths. But you can always sweep the arms up if you prefer. I like a more restful low lunge. Relax the shoulders and gaze forward. Whether you tuck the back foot or not is completely up to you. Some people prefer to untuck it. You can see how it feels. I like the way my knee feels better when my foot is tucked. Settling down in the hips, taking one more breath here. Release those blocks if you're using them. Send that front leg back and find your low plank position. Exhale, lower down through chaturanga. So that slow push up or push down. Inhale, baby cobra. Just engaging those postural muscles along the spine here. Exhale, press back. Find your downward facing dog. When you're ready, left leg comes up towards the ceiling. Gaze through the hands. Start to send that knee through. Bring the shoulders over the hands. Step the foot. Drop the back knee and find your low lunge. Stay for a couple of breaths here. Remove those blocks, come into your low plank position. Exhale, shoulders over the hands, slowly lower down. Elbows stay nice and close to the body. Inhale for baby cobra. Exhale, push back into tabletop position. So hands and knees. Come down onto your forearms. So we're on our right elbow. Left arm is out to the left. Yes. Lean into the left knee. Extend the right leg back behind you. You can put the toes on the ground. We're going to slightly externally rotate the back left hip so that when you lift the leg, your hips are open to the left. So you're kind of in a side plank, but your arm's just there for support. Does that make sense? So lean into that right elbow and you're in your right knee. We're going to lift the left leg up and down 5 times. Slowly. Up and down. With control, use those muscles, lift through the heel and lower it back down. Nice control. Going for 2 more. So we're warming up the external rotators, the lateral support, because our peak pose today is Halfmoon pose. Let's go for 1 more. So we're just tapping into those muscles first. Bring the knee back in, stretch back into child's pose. Come up into tabletop position, hands and knees. Bring your right arm to the middle. Exhale, left arm comes up towards the ceiling. Just a gentle twist, bring it back and switch sides. Left hand to the middle, right arm comes up. Moving the hips and the body with it. 1 more time on each side. The left arm comes up. And switch. Right arm comes up. Okay, come back to the forearms, and this time we're going to try it on the other side. So bring those elbows under the shoulders. This time you're leaning into the left knee. Extend the right leg straight back. And then remove the right arm so it's out to the right now. Yes, in line with your shoulder. You can even bring that elbow in or the forearm in so it's right across the chest. but on the ground, if that makes sense. And then whenever you're ready, lifting the heel and bringing it back down. If this is all too complicated, just stay with your normal one leg lift, using the glutes instead of the leg rotated open. So we're going for 5 here. Staying with that breath. Those look nice. No thanks to my explaining skills, but you all seem to be in it. Last one. Bring it down and bring the knee back in, stretch back into child's pose. Bring the shoulders over the hands and exhale, lower down. Inhale for cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Bend the knees. You're going to step your right foot to the outside of your right hand and the left to the outside of your left. So you're in a bit of an open knee squat there. Yes. Bring the arms up in front of you. Yeah. And then circle them to one side and the other. Little circles. Ooh. Bring the arms open and straighten the legs. As you exhale, bring them down through center. Send the bum back. Squat back into your squat. Arms out. Arms in. Reach it back up. Exhale, bring it back down. You take the hands back to the mat. Step back to downward facing dog. Stretch it back. So that time we stepped with the right leg. This time we're going to step with the left leg. Gaze forward, bend the knees. Step with the left, step with the right. Remove the arms, they're out in front of you. Inhale, reach it all the way up. Exhale, send the bum back, scoot back into that wide-legged chair. Send the arms out in front of you, little circles to the right. This is torture. Little circles to the left. Bring it all the way up. Exhale, send it back. Down. Take the hands down and find your downward facing dog. Stretch it back. Pedal out one foot and then the other. And then whenever you're ready, bend the knees, step to the top of your mat, just the normal way. Inhale, halfway lift, find that flat back. Exhale, fold, soften the knees, soften the back, hanging forward. And then bend the knees deeply, reach up to standing. Exhale, hands down through center. Put the blocks at the top of your mat for later. And then we'll start in our sequence. Inhale, reach it up. Exhale, we're going to step back with the left foot and just find your warrior 2. Windmill those arms open and bend in that front knee. Nice. Take a gentle exalted. It's a little bit of a dip backwards. And then as you come forward into your extended side angle, front elbow to front knee, back arm comes up. Hold here, lighten up that the weight on the knee. Exhale, bring the elbow down to the side body and bring it back up. So just the 3 pull downs. Bring it back up. Last one, pull it down. And bring it back up. We're going to bring the arms back into a T. Straighten that leg. Reach the arm forward, coming into a gentle triangle here. Nice. So that front arm kind of just comes to the inside of the leg. Top arm can lift up. Exhale, bring it all the way back up. Take a baby step forward with the back leg. We're going to lean into this block. So I'm going to set my block up to its tallest position. My legs are staying as they are. I'm going to drop this block, kitty corner to my front baby toe. So just about a foot over to the right. Gonna bend deeply in this front leg. And then as I lift my back leg out, I'm gonna straighten my front leg and lean into that arm so I can show you what that looks like in this half moon position. We're opening that leg up laterally, leaning into that block. Whew. And you either keep the hand on the hip or you can bring the arm open. And now that you know where you're going, let's step it back, bring the arms all the way back up, and you can try that once more on your own. So you can bend into the front leg, reach for that block, big reach there. Then power up that front leg, straighten it out, kick back that heel, relax that right shoulder away from the ear. Whew. And one side is always a little bit easier, but it's a strange position because we don't move laterally normally. Whenever you're ready, you can just bring that leg all the way in, step to the top of your mat, and reach up to standing. Whew. Let's try it on the other side. So first starting with our warrior two, stepping into the top of the mat, send your right leg back, find your warrior two. Take a gentle exalted, and then exhale, bring it into your extended side angle, front elbow to front knee. So big bend in the front knee. Back arm comes up over the ear and pull it down 3 times. This is hardly bedtime yoga, right? Make it more like bedtime yoga next class. Okay, bring it up into a T. Now let's try for that half moon on the other side. So I'm going to take a baby step forward with the back leg, just to shorten my stance a little bit. I'm going to drop the block, kitty corner to the left toe here, the left baby toe, maybe even outside the mat a little for more stability. Straighten up that front leg and kick back that right heel. Nice. See, one side's stronger. Whew. Breathing here, and let's try it 2 times. If you feel like coming out of it or you feel like you didn't quite get it, then you can step back, perhaps find that warrior two again, try it again. Reach for the block, straighten in the front leg, kick back that right heel, open up that leg, and maybe add the arm. The arm comes last if you start to understand the legs and the legs start to get into that position. And then step to the top of your mat whenever you've finished. Inhale, reach the arms up. And exhale, bring them down through center. Let's finish on our mats with our straps. So just make your way onto your back. Nice and slowly, take your time. Slowly lower those shoulders down. Before you do anything, just take a moment to allow the back to settle into the mat. Allow the shoulders to become nice and heavy. Reconnect with the breath. Gently bringing the head from side to side. So one ear perhaps comes to the mat and then the other. Moving as slow as molasses, just really gently with that neck. Start to bring that neck back to center. You have an option here to start an early Shavasana, or if you want to stretch out the legs with the strap, following along. I usually start with the right, so I think I'll start with the left this time. Bring that strap around the ball of the foot. Finding your hamstring stretch here. Allow the leg first to just become heavy in the strap. Let go of the notion that your foot needs to be right up towards the ceiling. And instead just think about finding a straight leg. Sometimes it takes a straight leg going all the way down towards the ground for it to become straight. So if that's you, just let it be there. I like to slide my hands down the strap so that my arms can relax on the ground a little bit. Okay, we'll take it across the body. So I'm going to slide the other leg out of the way and let it come over to the right. Just playing with the resistance here until you find the tension where you want to have it. So perhaps pulling the leg towards the chest a little bit more, or perhaps pointing the pinky toe away from the body a little bit more. Hold for one more breath. And start to bring it back to center nice and slowly. And then option to take it right over to the left or bend the knee a little bit as you take it over to the left. Continuing to slow that breath down. Inhale, exhale. We'll bring it back to center. One more hamstring stretch on this side. And then switching feet. Relaxing the leg into the strap here. Maybe adding a little more resistance. And gently taking it across the body. Anchoring down those hips so just the leg is moving across. Staying with that breath. And to get back to center and over to the right. Sometimes it's nice when the leg comes into contact with a wall and it meets you halfway. So either with a straight leg here or bending the knee towards the underarm. We'll bring that back to center. One more hamstring stretch here. Release the strap when you're ready. Either with straight legs on the mat, or you can bring your feet into butterfly. So feet together, knees open. You can slide the feet as far away from your body as you like, as is comfortable. Roll those shoulder blades under you once more. Bring the arms into a T and stay for a few breaths here. Slowing down the breath. Allowing those shoulders to become nice and heavy. Gently releasing the neck just a little bit in the front. So if your chin is tucked, just opening it up a little bit, adding some space there. feeling your body fully supported by the mat. Letting go of control for just a couple more minutes. Starting to invite a little bit of movement back to the body. And you can take your knees back together. And slowly making your way up to a seated position. Staying with that stillness if you can, sitting up nice and tall, relaxing those shoulders down. Taking those arms up overhead, reaching them away. Gently drawing the fingertips together. Bring the hands down between the eyebrows. Hinging forward, bowing internally towards yourself. Closing our practice. Thanks, everyone. See you next Tuesday. Bye.